I'm Derek Aarons, a consultant bioethicist and family physician from Jamaica, working in the province of the West Indies. Today, I'm interviewing a young scientist, Mrs. Tamika James Green, who will be speaking to us about her work.
I am a student at the University of the West Indies, where I'm doing my PhD in physiology. So my research actually surrounds the plant cannabis on the effect on blood, and specifically its thickness and therefore its ability to flow.
Now tell us, how can the church support you in your work?
Right. So as it concerns the church, prayer is always important, and definitely an important aspect, because prayer is very far-reaching. There is the aspect of you just providing encouragement, because sometimes in doing research, it is not always easy. And there is also the aspect of investment in the sense of there can be scholarships, and as I said, not necessarily related to me, but generally for the field of research, there is scholarship. So the church itself can also be a platform for promoting research.
My name is Richard Cheetham. I'm the Church of England's Bishop of Kingston in the Diocese of Southwark, which covers most of South London. I'm also a co-director of Equipping Christian Leadership in an Age of Science. I'm very pleased to be joined by Nick Heavens, who is a planetary scientist. And Nick, I wonder if you could say a few words about your own background.
I'm Nick Heavens. I'm a research scientist at the Space Science Institute in Boulder, Colorado. But through the magic of remote working, I worship at St. Luke's Millwall in the Diocese of London. And I work on two topics: what the weather is like on Mars right now, or at least in the last 4 hours, and what the Earth's climate was like millions and billions of years ago.
What is it that really excites you about the science that you do?
I suppose it's the ability to organize and come to an understanding of things that are going on so far away, so removed in time and space. And it's almost like you're looking through patterns and things that really shouldn't have a pattern, or are so disorganized that you're like, what does this all mean? And when you finally sort of fit the pieces together and see something beautiful at the end, that ends up being sort of the most exciting thing.
What would you like to see the church doing that would really encourage you and support you in the work that you do?
This may be surprising to hear, but I think the biggest challenges that I face in science are not so much the science that I'm doing. I feel like the resources, the things that we can do with computers, that we can do with remote sensing instruments, that we can do with climate models, I feel like we're progressing very well. I feel like the environment in which people do science is getting worse, particularly for younger members of the scientific community. And oddly enough, I think what the church can really do is try to shift the conversation about work generally, not just for scientists, but for everyone. Trying to maybe go to something more like Dorothy Sayers was talking about after the Second World War, about looking at the dignity of every worker and providing the resources that every worker needs in order to be able to flourish and do the work that they've been called to do. And if the church focused on that, I think a lot of the things that I would need support of as a scientist would take care of themselves.
My name is Linda Nichols, and I'm the primate of the Anglican Church of Canada. And I'm here today with Stephanie Furtado. Stephanie, would you introduce yourself and what you do?
I am a nurse specialized in wound ostomy and continence. So, the more I learned through my master's in wound care and just understanding all the intricate details of the way that the body heals itself, all the interplay between the cells and chemicals that get released and all these things that your body does. I mean, it's a mastery.
And how could the church undergird and support what you're doing?
By not being as vocal about our inclusion and understanding of how God works through us as humans, through our knowledge, through our science, and understanding how that all is synergistic. If we don't have that voice, then people assume that everyone of faith has these very different visions and values than I have experienced in the Anglican Church in Canada. And I feel like there's a major area of where science has really let down mental health. But the churches are starting to offer some support in there. But in the same way, there's a historical confusion between what the church sees as a mental health issue versus what the church sees as sin or possession, or we still have parts of Canada that do exorcisms, and so there's a lot of gray there, and so again, in that silence, it can be interpreted in vastly different ways.
So being more vocal, speaking up, offering support, engaging in dialogue and conversation about it, especially with people like yourself who are on the front line of medical science.
Welcome, I'm talking to Margaret, a young Christian scientist from the Diocese of London. Margaret, kindly introduce yourself.
My name is Margaret Nyakeno. Currently, I'm a technical lead and data engineer. I work at Ziltech Technologies. It's a business intelligence and data analysis company based here in Kenya, Nairobi.
What excites you about your work?
I really enjoy working with projects such as doing analysis and reports. So for example, there's this project that I was working on mental health. You're able to pick data of young people. You're able to analyze that data. You're able to come up with solutions that can help them.
How can the church help you?
Okay.
Or support you?
So the church can help us by praying for us, having the right people with the right intentions is very key in our field, because having the wrong people who are not grounded can cause a lot of disaster if they get their hands on such reports and such systems and data. The church can also give us training and also allow us to mentor other people so that we can increase the knowledge of people, or increase the number of Christians who are interested in tech by giving them skills and mentorship.
I'm Renta Nishihara, the Bishop of the Diocese of Chubu in Japan, the Anglican Church of Japan, Nippon Seiko Kai NSKK. And I also serve as the president of the Rikyo University in Tokyo, Japan. This is Professor Mao Minoura. He is a chemist in my university and is a member of the Anglican Communion. How can the Christianity and the church support you in your scientific work?
I have been given confidence by the church and worship in the scientific challenges that God has designed. In this sense, the church has been helpful in encouraging my chemical research.
What excites you about the science you do?
I'm a chemist, and I'm thinking about how chemistry can help meet the SDGs. I believe that my Christian faith is realized through materially performable love as a material chemist. I have been working on chemically synthesized materials that can capture carbon dioxide, which has a high environmental impact. I also investigating on the hydrogen storage materials for clean energies. Our new materials will be successfully used for the sustainable development of our world. I hope so. as a chemist and a member of the Anglican Communion.